indeed. Lim Jonghoon of Korea, the number 8 seed, taking on China's 2nd seed. Men's singles next up, Lim Jonghoon, Korea's number 8 seed in the blue there, taking on XIANGPENG, number 2 seed of China, an up-and-coming force to be reckoned with. First meeting between this pair. We've got the world number 44 in the Korean taking on China's world number 13, who has 3 career titles to his name already. One of the standout moments for him came last year on home soil, in fact, when he turned heads, announced himself to the world stage with a run to the semi-finals at the China Smash. So this is going to be certainly an interesting one. It's always interesting to see a first meeting between players as well. Even though, of course, they're used to each other, they see each other round and about on the tours. So they think they know something of each other, but always interesting to see them go head-to-head in competition when it matters. In terms of the route that both of these players have taken through to this quarter-final, have a look at their past results that have seen them get to this stage. The winner, of course, will play Soren Matsushima in the semi-final. XIANGPENG has been impressive, has dropped just the 1 game so far. He beat Van Cohen 3-1 in the opening round, defeated Christian Carlsen in straight games in the round of 16 to find himself here to face Lim Jonghoon. He himself has dropped just the 1 game as well. That was against Park Kyu-hyun in the opening round. He then defeated Lam Soo-hang, the qualifier, in the straight games. So neither has really been challenged coming into this one. Colin Wilson, and what do you make of this matchup?
Okay, well, at this end, we've got Lim Jonghoon of Korea, 28-year-old left-hander, as you say, 44 in the world, but we've got someone that's absolutely song on form, XIANGPENG. He was 23 in the world, and as a result of the World Table Tennis Champions last week in Incheon, which he won, he's raced up the world rankings, and I wondered whether he might be tired for this competition as a result of his efforts there. But when I saw him play Christian Carlsen yesterday, I thought Christian did fine, and XIANGPENG won comprehensively. So I'm going to put XIANGPENG as favourite for this match.
And of course, confidence will be sky high after those impressive results as well. And you say, perhaps he was tired after his exploits in his last tournament, but he's just 22. He's certainly got age on his side.
Well, he certainly has compared to me, and he has compared to Lim as well. Lim Jonghoon there, big forehands, playing it out of the middle there. high elbow on the follow through, maximise the topspin and the dip on the ball, just making it difficult for XIANGPENG. Just look at the explosive power that's coiled up in the legs there of XIANGPENG. He's certainly done the work, hasn't he? Nice explosive pull-up on the backhand topspin. That's what all the training in the legs is for. Just leaning back on the forehand, though. Another nice backhand here. Pulls it up. See the work on the legs. The forehand just leaning back. Left leg coming backwards as he hits it off the end of the table. Oh, and that's a better forehand. He got into that one. I'm so impressed with this young Chinese man.
Really strong on the backhand, celebrates, running towards his coach as he picks up that point.
He's just so full of energy.
Yeah, it's great to see that exuberance and that love for what he's doing out there.
And it's quite intimidating for Lim Jong-hoon. If he's prepared to run around and waste energy when he wins a point at this stage of a game, in the first game, you know that he's confident in his fitness. So Lim Jong-hoon will be recognising that he's up against a very powerful boomerang-style player. Good from Lim Jong-hoon. Fast serve, big forehand follow-up, left-hander from the backhand corner. Well done. Keeps it at 5-all. Now, a few years ago, left-hander would probably receive serve with their right foot further forward, but Lim Jong-hoon here has his left leg further forward on return of serve. Despite the fact that he might need to get out if the ball comes fast wide of his forehand. Not much in it in the big rallies.
No, players just sort of feeling each other out in these opening stages, you sense.
Very much. Lim Jong-hoon pleased that that was a let. XIANGPENG just dropping it onto the net on the return of serve, but they'll have to take it again. Most of these shots against most players in the world, they wouldn't be coming back. You know, one would be enough. At this level, they're getting each other's best shots back quite consistently. It makes for a very explosive match. Oh, look at that touch. The vision and the touch. So we talk about the explosive power, but look what Lim Jong-hoon did there. Took the point with just his eyes and his feeling.
That's two really impressive points from Lim Jong-hoon, going for the same spot on the table, but two very different points, but certainly entertaining.
XIANGPENG going for the big one across court, directly after the serve. But, didn't quite time it. Umpire Ji Na asking the players to keep the play continuous, not too many breaks in between. Yeah, good comeback from Lim Jong-hoon.
He's worked his way really impressively through these points, given that his opponent was 3 points ahead at one stage.
Brave shot from XIANGPENG. Back to 9-all, and he's off to the towel. First to 11 points, but you need 2 clear points to win. So XIANGPENG there, just feeling the ball and feeling an imperfection on the surface of the ball, so he's changed it for another one. That's a great return of serve. Well done, Im Jong-hoon. Stuffed it fast into the crossover. Made Jiang have to get his body out of the way, and then repeated the favour on the next shot as well. So after all of that, Rebecca, we've got Im Jong-hoon with game point.
But XIANGPENG saves it. Draws level at 10-all. This is shaping up to be a really entertaining end to this opening game.
That was a pretty crazy backhand to go for. And it was successful. Very brave from XIANGPENG. Could have gone either way, couldn't it?
Well, XIANGPENG's already saved 1 game point. You wouldn't put it past him saving another. He's got the serve.
Fast serve, but off the end.
Well, Lim Jong-hoon wraps up a tense, tight opener, 12 points to 10. Incredibly high quality opening game in this men's singles quarterfinal. And like you say, Colin, one that could have gone either way.
Really could have. I think they both just knew that they just had to play their own game, had to stay aggressive. That backhand from XIANGPENG when he was game point down to get back to deuce was pretty amazing. But Im Jong-hoon just staying solid. He's not quite as powerful, Im Jong-hoon, but we know he's a master tactician, double specialist very much. Got to the semi-finals with his compatriot An Jae-hyun. They went out earlier this morning in the semis of the doubles, and he's in the final of the doubles. We'll see him later in the mixed doubles at 6 p.m. local time. So there he is, Im Jong-hoon. Meantime, at the other end, the Chinese coach has got plenty to say, but here, the Korean coach as well. Lots to say, a bit of encouragement at the end. XIANGPENG humbled in the first game, not in terms of being outclassed, but the staying power of Im Jong-hoon.
Yeah, it's what you do in those, it's not the way you start the game, it's the way you finish, as you say. It's what you do in those final few moments.
So we'll just see the legwork of XIANGPENG when the camera's at this end. And here, Im Jong-hoon, you see how he puts his left leg forward as he's standing ready to receive serve. Big rally. Left and right hander, forehand topspin to forehand topspin here. So Im Jong-hoon serving. Not quite as powerful as XIANGPENG, but maybe slightly smoother.
1-2.
Just mistimed that one so much that he missed the ball altogether. Lovely stuff from both players. Im Jong-hoon there, just the personification of smooth control. A big forehander finish. XIANGPENG just looks a warrior, doesn't he? Fast backhand off the bounce from Lim. He's not as powerful as XIANGPENG, but if he can use the energy that XIANGPENG's already put into the ball, then he can add to that, and the ball then travels extremely fast, returning it with interest. What do you reckon, Rebecca?
I think this is shaping up to be a really thrilling second game. I like the exuberance that XIANGPENG plays with. I think he's a really entertaining player to watch. I like Lim Jong-hoon as well. I think they're both bringing very different elements to this match so far.
Yeah, two slightly different styles. Left-hander versus right-hander as well. And there's been nothing in it the whole match.
And for Lim, do you think there'll be an element of thinking about that mixed doubles match later on and thinking, I really need to save something to keep something back for that?
I think if you asked Lim Jong-hoon now about the mixed doubles, he'd say, what mixed doubles?
Full focus on this one.
I think you've got to be in the moment. He'll just be looking. It's not that you are looking ahead as well. You're focused absolutely in the present, on the ball, in the moment. But you are also thinking ahead in the rally, maybe ahead a couple of points, and certainly you're plotting your way. You're trying to imagine a route to 11 points. You know, how can that be done? What do I need to do to get there, given what I'm under and how the tactics are changing as the game evolves? But as for the mixed doubles, he'll be thinking about that later, I'm sure. It'll be good to see him back there. I love seeing him in doubles, especially as a left-hander. That's such a classy backhand return. The ball was going to bounce twice on the table surface on his side from the service, and he still managed to whip up that banana flick backhand. Yeah, Peng popped that one up in the air. Wasn't as much backspin on the serve as he thought. Pops it up, and that's all that. Didn't exactly come up far, but that was enough. Im Jong-hoon saw his opportunity, and XIANGPENG, it wants to interrupt that opportunity.
Yeah, XIANGPENG forced into the timeout. Had that nice, comfortable-looking lead and has been pegged back. So it's taking some time to get some pointers from the coach.
Yeah, so XIANGPENG has got used to winning. He won the World Table Tennis Champions last week in Korea. He beat Pang Cohen from Singapore, and then Christian Carlsen. He destroyed Christian Carlsen, really, with a blistering set of games, 3-0. Yeah, tough match, but 3-0. But I was so impressed with him there. But he's not used in the last couple of weeks to being behind.
It'll be interesting to see how he restarts then after this timeout.
Chinese coach got plenty to say.
As you might expect. Just the single point in it, though, as the players make their way back to the table. It was a close opening game as well. Lim Jong-hoon just sneaking that one 12-10.
And a lot of research going on at the moment as to how much of what the coach says is actually taken in by the player in the timeout or between games. Ooh. Im Jong-hoon thinks that touched the edge. Yeah, the umpire's given it, and Jiang is not arguing the point. So, 8-all.
Jiang looking a little bit frustrated with the way that that rally ended. And it's 2 game points now for Lim Jong-hoon. XIANGPENG will need to find some answers here. Certainly not the way he would have wanted to restart after that timeout.
That was a perfect point against the serve from Jiang. Pushed it very, very short and kept it low. Knew he had. That gave him a guaranteed opportunity to open up with a topspin on the 4th ball. And it was a lovely backhand he pulled out. Oh, fast serve. He's got Peng away from the table. And he gets back to the table. He fought his way back to the table well there. He's coming in, and then whip of the wrist. He's so brave when he's at a crucial point with a big consequence if he misses, and he pulls it out. Well done. And there's the power play of XIANGPENG. 1. And again, paroxysm of delight.
Oh, how about that? What a comeback from XIANGPENG. Took the timeout, it didn't go as he wanted. Then held his nerve and wraps up the second one, 12 points to 10, the same scoreline by which Lim took the opener. This quarterfinal is absolutely wide open. Finally poised at a game apiece. Fascinating end to that second game.
Yeah, nothing in it. These games are going very, very long. They've played almost 20 minutes already, and it's 1 game all, best of 5. Yeah, a little bit surprised there. I think XIANGPENG did very, very well to come back. Just a couple of small mistakes from Im Jong-hoon at the end. If you're going to be really hard and say, you know, does XIANGPENG have a weakness? I would say that when he's facing fast topspins or counter topspins, he does change his grip slightly from backhand to forehand. So when it comes to the side he doesn't expect, sometimes you can see he's just moving his bat slightly to get the angle. And that instability on that bat angle under pressure against a very fast ball means that the odd mistake will creep in.
Third game, Lim to serve, love off.
Well, Lim to get us back underway. Game number 3, 1 game all. In the first meeting between this pair.
Yeah, it's the first meeting, but I don't think either of them will forget it. Oh, served off. Well, he went for the fast one around the corner. You can see the ball hit the side barrier. I mean, these players can serve on 10,000 times out of 10,000, but trying to put the opponent under much, much more pressure. And so an error like that will creep in occasionally, and that's okay, it's not disastrous. It's just an indication of how tight the game is and what he's afraid of. Power from XIANGPENG. See the explosion on this forehand. It came back. He can't believe it. It looks flummoxed. How did you get that back? He says.
Next. 3, 2.
Big flick of the wrist to get over the top of that ball. See the follow through of the backhand here, there. It's the only way he could play that fast and yet make the ball come down on the other side of the table. Aerodynamics. And then a soft ball, but misses. So despite a couple of amazing attacks, he's still a point down. No mistake there, though. You see the shadow play there from Im Jong-hoon. He's practicing doing return of serve and then forehand topspin afterwards. But he's not receiving serve anymore. He's got to play 2 points off his own serve before that becomes another possibility. You see there, the backhand opener from Im is just very nice, good enough to win the point. Not as fast as Zhang's, but maybe a little bit more consistent. And again. So Lim Jong-hoon doing well with the slower stuff. He changed the pace, went fast, went too fast. Very difficult to get the balance. That's exactly what Im Jong-hoon was hoping for, the shadow play. In for the service. He didn't do a very great job of it. The ball popped up, but that's the way that he got his forehand return in. So that's what he kind of practiced for, despite the fact that he played a poor return of serve. The little things matter, don't they?
Yeah, and 3 points, the biggest lead that either player has had in the match so far. So it's the little things that matter because that's such fine margins.
Yeah, good point.
All these points are absolutely crucial.
Oh, sent him the wrong way. Pulled the wrist back at the last moment. Zhang thought it was going to the backhand. Zhang made him cover a lot of ground there. XIANGPENG, just such a great warrior. Oh, mistimed that one. Didn't like the way the ball bounced on the table. Kind of wipes the spot where the ball bounced. Taps the ball away. Doesn't want to play with that one again.
First of 4 game points. He only needed the one. Lim Jong-hoon wraps up the 3rd game by 11 points to 6. That's the most convincing lead that either player has had in this match overall. And what does that mean for the fourth game, I wonder? Quickest game as well.
Yeah,
so far.
Yeah, only took half the time that both of the first games took.
And in terms of the way that affects Zhang Peng for the fourth, because he's kept pace so far with Lim Jong-hoon, now he's been, I don't want to say sort of humbled by him in that last one, but certainly it was a bigger winning margin than we've seen previously. Will that affect his confidence going into the fourth?
Yeah, I think for Zhang Peng, we've seen the dynamism, we've seen, you know, he's loving it running around. You're talking about his energy. But in that game, just in the second half of the game, it just got very, very bitty. Im Jong-hoon did a great job of the slower, heavily spun balls, gave it a little bit more variation, managed to kind of keep his smoothness, and Jiang, you could just see Im Jong-hoon played him out of his rhythm, so it ended up feeling bitty, a little bit unsatisfying for Zhang Peng, and he'll be wanting to kind of get back in a rhythm, but he knows that Im Jong-hoon is very, very good at varying the pace, varying the spin, and he's got to find a rhythm from someone who is trying to put him out of rhythm. It'll be very interesting to see which of those dominates at the beginning of the fourth game.
Yeah, absolutely, and Zhang, of course, under pressure now. This is a must-win if he is to keep his hopes of staying in this tournament intact.
Yeah, Im Jong-hoon has to keep Jiang out of flow. And he did it there, missed the big one.
Zhang did incredibly well to actually get that return in.
Yeah. Lovely fast serve down the line, right-hander to left-hander. Oh, gorgeous. See what Im Jong-hoon did there. Are you taking it? Was that a let serve? That's frustrating for Im Jong-hoon. Fast serve, he returned the favour. Fast serve down the line, couldn't follow it up.
That's a frustrating start to this fourth game for the Korean, who continues to shadow play.
Again, a bitty feeling about the way the game is at the moment. So Im Jong-hoon still able to keep Zhang Peng mentally as much as physically out of his rhythm.
Let 3-2.
A nice backhand follow-up from Zhang. Quick towel break allowed every 6 points.
2-4.
Yeah, all very quiet down at table one. Feeling a little bit tense.
All the big shots coming out now. And you can see Jiang in his rhythm. If he gets Lim away from the table, I think he's got the better power and flow.
Yeah, it suits the Korean to have a more bitty game in that sense.
Yeah. There it is. Keep Jiang off balance there. He offered the top spin, but knew how he was going to counter it. Jiang does go the wrong way sometimes. You know, Im is able to send him the wrong way. Oh, they're everywhere. See the ball kicking around the net. That's the top spin on the ball. You see the ball accelerates back into the net. Oh no! Oh no! Zhang Peng is just shaking his head. Look at that. That's an amazing, amazing reach. Im Jong-hoon stretched to the limit,
5-all.
back at 5-all.
Yeah, that's incredible confidence, isn't it, to play a shot like that?
And again, just talks about power and flow. He got himself into position. Once he knows where it's going, then he's pretty unbeatable. Terrific. Two world-class players battling it out, outsmarting each other, outplaying each other.
6-all.
So point to Im Jong-hoon there, an apology from him because he actually hit the top of his bat, didn't middle it. And that's why Zhang dumped the ball into the net. Didn't have the topspin that he expected. Didn't have the time to react and adapt. Anyone's game.
Well, it's been impressive, hasn't it, from Im Jong-hoon, who has had to bring himself from behind in this fourth.
Yeah, and with a few massive power shots. Chinese coach in yellow standing, instilling belief into his player. It's so easy to cave in. You've got to stand and keep fighting. Point directly from the serve is handy. Im Jong-hoon, another one of those little points that he often wins. This is incredible.
It was such an entertaining rally. Incredible was the word. And you said, Colin, about Zhang getting into his flow state and the need for him to interrupt that flow.
8-all.
Him getting the better. Or rather, Zhang getting the better of him in the end. But wow, what a rally that was to level us at 8 points apiece here.
Yeah, either player really deserves to win this. The courage, the aggression, the sensitivity, all combined.
Two game points for the Chinese in this must-win fourth game for him.
Yeah, Zhang's so brave. He's having none of it. He was 3 points away from going out of the competition.
8.
But in a flash, 2 game points to level it. Lim Jong-hoon playing slower and steadier, trying to keep Zhang there, but then when he had to change the pace and go faster, he couldn't make the change of pace. There, that was the bigger backhand. He looked shocked that he missed it. 2 games all.
Yeah, another long game as well. Over 7 minutes on the clock for that one, and we are on the way to a 5th and final one. Zhang getting the job done when he needed to, a must-win game. They've been playing for over 35 minutes now.
So into the 5th and final game in this quarter-final of the men's singles. Winner will play Sora Matsushima from Japan, who just beat Zhou Qihao from China. That'd be a great semi-final, whatever happens here. That was sharp. Great work from Zhang. Zhang goes walkabout after this one. He's delighted with the way he controlled his body, just sagged off the right leg, kept the ball down. Nice recovery into blocking for Im Jong-hoon, but it wouldn't stop raining, would it? The blows were raining down on him from Zhang. Zhang looks very steady mentally before he serves. I imagine he's got great visualization, just organizing himself as to what might happen in the rally to be ready for anything. Again, the shout from Im Jong-hoon is because, again, he got his forehand fourth ball sorted out. He came in for the return of serve, and then out for the forehand, the bigger forehand afterwards. Again, he's still just feeling for it, isn't he, in between points? Again, another little one that goes Jong-hoon's way.
But it's the rallies that have tended to go the way of Zhang. You say, Colin, the little points, they are generally going the way of Im Jong-hoon, but he wants to avoid getting into any kind of lengthier exchange with Zhang Peng because he's coming off second best. Yeah,
Zhang is more powerful in the end. I'd say Im Jong-hoon is quicker, so taking the ball early. Im Jong-hoon a bit smoother, but Im Jong-hoon's reliant upon using the pace of Zhang. Whereas Zhang is a little bit better at producing his own pace off a slow ball. Very interesting combinations. Im Jong-hoon off balance there, blocking the backhand off the end. Zhang placed it really nicely. Yeah.
Well, it's probably advisable, would you say, Colin, at this stage in this 5th and final game, Im Jong-hoon 2 points behind and obviously doesn't want to lose pace with Zhang.
Yeah, I think that one was called by the Korean coach. I'm not too sure. I think maybe they looked at their player and just thought, okay, let's just steady this one. A player can rush into points slightly unready, and you don't notice it kind of coming on. And the coach might interrupt that on your behalf. Zhang Peng just stepping from side to side, just taking in everything that's being said to him. Hasn't got a chance to get a word in edgeways, does he?
Doesn't seem so.
Again, let's just see the body language here. They're still practicing this forehand topspin like all the time, just trying to insert the feeling into the hard drive.
There you go there. And then Im Jong-hoon calling for that timeout, 2 points down in this 5th and final game.
And once again, they've called it when they've got 2 serves to come. So either when it's very, very close with maybe 1 point to think about, but here, mid-game, but 2 points to come, so why not call it now so that you can plan and control the way the rally begins. Oh no, did that go on? Lim Jong-hoon is just smiling. Kind of fair enough. Xiang, fantastic. Oh. He's returned in like kind there. Look at the power on that. So, both doing it to each other. Off the edge. Lucky from Lim Jong-hoon. Neither player seems to be able to get away. Great serve. Forced to lob. XIANGPENG finishes it off and disappears off for his towel.
And his coach certainly liked what he saw there, up on his feet, celebrating as XIANGPENG re-establishes that tiny 2-point lead.
Oh, unfortunate for Lim Jong-hoon. The forehand that he's been practicing with his shadow play all the time. See, he's doing it again. He actually did a great job of the first one, but it came back from XIANGPENG and with a lot of topspin, so he missed the second one. Not an unforced error, absolutely forced by XIANGPENG. Another little one. He dribbles back. Again, Lim Jong-hoon all the time in between points, practicing his forehand. Lim Jong-hoon all the way across wide of the forehand to play a backhand return, and then all the way around the backhand to play a forehand topspin. And all of that to catch the top edge of XIANGPENG. Neither player has had, I think, more than a 3-point lead, Rebecca, in the whole match.
Now, the last 2 points have gone the way of Lim Jong-hoon. It was 8-5, and now
he's back in it.
8-8. My goodness.
And that's the experience, the 28-year-old. He's been around the circuit. He's seen players play brilliantly against him, but he knows how to hang in. Chop block, but Xiang dealt with it so well. You see here, goes down on the ball, but then Xiang dealt with it. Chinese coach delighted.
And rightly so, it was a fantastic response.
Well, would you have believed it? A long push return, and it popped up. And Lim Jong-hoon, the man who wins the little points, lost the little point.
Looking on in utter disbelief.
I think he didn't expect that to be quite, in theory, easier, but just unexpected is what made the difference.
I think so, and now it's too much points for XIANGPENG, and he has the serve. Well, China's XIANGPENG, the up-and-coming force to be reckoned with, continues to impress. Beating Lim Jong-hoon in a marathon encounter, highly entertaining, high-quality match to seal his place in the semi-finals, and that really was a thriller. 45 minutes on the clock for that one. It really was a marathon encounter, and it's XIANGPENG, the exuberant, energetic Chinese youngster, who gets the better of Lim Jong-hoon, the number 8 seed, to seal his place in the semi-finals. What a way to end the opening session on day 3 in Taiwan. 6 entertaining matches, and that really was a wonderful way to round out this morning's action. But there is still more to come. with the mixed doubles final that's taking place a little later on this very table from 6 p.m. local time, and we look forward to seeing you back here then.
感谢所有运动员的精彩表现，为我们留下难忘的回忆。让我们向他们所表现出的体育精神致以崇高的敬意。We would like to thank all the volunteers for their time and dedication to what making today's competition a success. 我们向所有志愿者致谢，正是你们付